Hey, you on the Verge with Verge. One more time. Here we go again. This is my special guest. This is Joy. Joy, you want to introduce yourself again for those who didn't see the last episode?
Hi, I'm Joy. I'm a very good friend of Verge. We chop it up. We break it down. We keep it real. Okay? We have a conversation out this world. So we're here today to share our thoughts, share our heart, share our mind with you, and put it on display for the world to hear what we have to say with On the Verge with Verge, because we on the verge of something here.
You're on the verge of greatness. God's got a plan for your life. And I believe God is calling us in such a time as this, for such a time as this, to help bring a level of awareness, a level of consciousness and understanding to our listening audience. And we want to break it down like a fraction in bite-sized pieces. Joy has chosen a particular topic that I believe is very thought-provoking. I think it's relative to what everybody's experiencing today in life. The topic is
Self-love.
Woo.
Self-love. It's the new year. Come on
And
with
you're talking about levels of self-love. What's the next level?
Black love.
Ooh, that's relative.
Yeah.
That's 1, 2, 3. And what's the last level?
Agape love.
Wow. That's the supreme love. That's the God love, godly love.
And guess what?
Unconditional.
Before we move on, I gotta shout out Simone Safford. Woo! This
My
is a
baby.
She's a
My
smoking
girl.
producer,
Director. Extraordinaire.
She wants to
Producer.
Hollywood. How about that?
Yeah.
The girl is cold. She's anointed. She sets the scene. She gets us ready. She get our mind right. She sets the tone, okay, for us to do what we do.
When you see me look away and look over there, like on the last episode, I was looking at her.
Hello. So
I gotta look at her to make sure I'm on.
So we want
if I ain't on, it's gonna be on.
We want to put her out there, Simone, the producer,
Sanford.
okay?
Appreciate y'all.
Sanford, the producer.
She killing the game.
She got a vibe
grateful
out this
she's taking
world.
time to be
She
with
sets
us
the scene.
and to present this to our listening audience.
Yes.
So, Joy, what are your thoughts along the line of this self-love? I think that's a very, very important subject matter to discuss.
So why I want to talk about self-love is because, number one, we are not taught to love ourselves, okay? Wow. We're not even taught what love is, and that's why we don't receive the love we want, and we don't give the love that we want and that other people should have from us, because we don't know how to love ourselves.
So you got to know how to love you first. You can't give people what you don't have. If you don't have the love for yourself, how can you give it to someone else, huh?
Absolutely. That's a great point right there. The main point I want to really focus in on right now in this time and moment is that self-love, so when we talk about love, we always think it's, okay, some outside thing. Okay, I'm giving you love. We never think about how love starts from the inside out.
I like that.
So, and we never connect the part about loving ourselves to be able to give this love.
Never.
Right?
Never.
It's always just something we just given. Where is it coming from? Hello?
Oh, check that out. Good question.
Are you loving the space where it's coming from? You just giving some raggedy, bogus love. I mean, heart all bitter.
Raggedy and bogus.
Toe down.
Joy, you know what?
Talk about that's love.
I surround myself with, at this stage in my life, the greatest thought leaders that ever lived. And one of my most prolific mentors is Peter Sage.
Okay.
And Peter Sage is helping me to understand that we've been conditioned to live from the outside in.
Exactly.
If I ain't got enough money or all of the external things, but we ought to live from the inside out. So self-discovery, self-understanding, self-awareness, self-esteem, self-mastery, these kinds of things. And then outwardly follows what goes on inwardly. So if you see a person's house in disarray, such as a hoarder, it's because it's a lot of chaos inside of them.
Absolutely.
Person who has order in their home is an orderly person that's disciplined.
Exactly.
So what you're saying about self-love is so awesome, because I didn't know how to love me.
Me either.
So how did you come up with this topic? What brought you to this?
I'm just going through a lot of broken relationships. I had to learn by the hard knocks. It's a hard knock life.
Girl, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do that then. It ain't no joke.
I had to learn from the school of hard knocks. Just first of all, I believe I got a good heart. Okay. Number one.
I do too. I agree with that.
But I was raised by different personalities. I was raised by some people pleasers, some people that didn't know how to show love, some people who didn't love themselves. I had all these tarnished images of what self-love. I didn't really see authentic confidence, authentic self-love.
Wow.
People were saying I'm this and I'm that, but behind closed doors, they vibe. It wasn't that. So it posed a question to me that did not get answered till now through trial and error.
And what question was that?
How to love me. How to be confident, because I didn't see it. Because you got people sitting up outwardly, they looking good. Oh, I love myself, but you a people pleaser. You doing all of this stuff for surface, outward stuff. You're not really doing it because you love you. You're not really doing it because you a vibe. You're not really doing it because this is authentic. You're looking. See, love, if we go back to the definition of love, love is what?
There we go.
It's not self-seeking. So you're saying, I love myself and I'm confident. I got all this gear on. I got Gucci on. I got whatever. I got my furs on. I got my rings on, whatever. And you got it going on, but you're self-seeking. You're seeking attention. It's not authentic because you don't love you.
Oh, wait. Guilty.
You're looking for somebody to validate you.
Validation.
Now, did you put that on because that's what you really want to have on? Or are you seeking somebody to give you compliments? So we can just go back to the principle of love and applicate it to self-love. And a lot of our behavior is seeking the attention of others. That's not real love. That's not real self-love.
Like you said in the last episode, it starts at childhood. I think if your mother or father didn't provide the security, we got these daddy issues with girls.
Right.
And we got these mommy issues with boys. And I think in the developmental stages, when those things are absent, we're seeking for that affirmation and that love in all the wrong places. And we think that it's outward, but it's really inward.
Inward.
Yes.
Now, it's nothing wrong with putting on your stuff, but why? Just put it on because you love you.
You understand?
Because you love you. Just be yourself. Be yourself.
Do you?
And you will get the love you want. But we're coming from a place of we're not authentically loving ourselves and we're not getting it back.
So how do we learn? What are the steps in understanding how to? What do you start with loving yourself? What would you suggest?
I would suggest first loving your imperfections, things you don't like about yourself. Start with those. And just learn to embrace the flaws, the things you don't like about yourself. Because the stuff you do like, that's easy.
Okay.
But the stuff that you don't like,
come to grips with that.
You got to start loving.
Embrace that.
The bad stuff.
Accept it.
The image.
Don't be in denial.
I
feel that.
The things that people even made you dislike about yourself.
We don't want to accept it. We be in denial.
Yeah. So you got to start with the bad stuff.
Because we're all broken. Everybody's broken.
So I'll give you a prime example. I've always kind of went up and down with my weight. This is probably the biggest I've ever been, but I've always lived by one thing.
I love your honesty. Wow, that's real.
Love the skin you're in. Whether you're big,
she just dropped a bomb in the house.
It's the love that's inside of your heart. It's your vibe that supersedes the stretch marks, supersedes the fat, supersedes the wrinkles, the little imperfections that nobody can see.
Even height. Man with the Napoleon complex. You're too short, but
and that's a lie. You a beast.
Awesome. You are awesome.
I know some short guys act taller than 6.
Fearfully and wonderfully made.
6'9". And we ain't even gonna get into that conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. So that just these false concepts.
Self-image.
Poor
self-image. Yeah.
Skin color.
Yeah, light skin, dark skin.
Yeah.
Back in my day, if you was dark skinned, everybody's like, if he dark, he ain't no good. And that's how we felt about one another. Where did that come from? My grandmother. My mother. If he's light skinned, that's who you want to be with. If he dark, then he don't mean you. They use the nigga. The nigga don't mean you no good if you black.
Wow.
Whoa, really?
Or you white girl, you too white. What are you?
You talk like a white girl because you educate.
Right.
Or you aspire to be better.
And even though dark skin, you saying dark skin was downplayed, light skin be downplayed too. Even with the males, you acting light skin. You a white girl. Yeah, what are you? Yeah.
Spike Lee made a movie about that. Yeah, the wannabes, the jigabees, and all that. Yeah.
So we have a tarnished image from people around us, and also the world we live in. People telling us what beauty is, things of that nature. But start with your flaws, your physical flaws.
I like that. Okay.
Start with loving the emotions you have. You may be a needy person. You may be an angry person. You may be a bitter person. Love it.
Hello. That's
Work on it.
Accept it.
Admit it.
Embrace it. That's what I'm learning to do. We're not sitting here like we know everything. We're talking primarily based on our own experiences, based on biblical principles and precepts, because she's called and anointed of God. I have a personal relationship with God. So it's a combination of experiences and understanding that we're speaking from. So we don't want to come across like we know everything. We're trying to tell you what to do. We're trying to dictate. There's pain that you have to pay to understand what we're talking about. Experiences. She's paying the price for what she's saying. She shared some things with me about her personal life that are confidential, and I have as well. So we understand that we understand. We know that we know. So please don't get the impression that we're trying to be know-it-all and trying to talk down to you. We're just trying to be relative and understanding that we've come to where we are now based on the pain.
And still are coming.
The disappointment.
And God still are becoming.
Steady developing us.
We're still becoming.
We're becoming.
We're becoming.
So what about the black love?
So when you said something about the skin color part, I was at Dudley's get shout out to Dudley's.
Dudley's. Been around a million years.
Black owned.
Real. That's a real spot. Y'all better check it out.
They got their own product.
They doing their
You
thing.
can get a discount. Students doing the hair.
Dudley is the boss.
Massages, all that.
All that petty man.
They got the little sugaring for the ladies. You know, you need the little Brazilian.
Pamper. Everything. All that.
Everything.
Everything.
Black on.
Yeah.
Well, see, when you were talking about the color thing, we came up, we got on the subject when I was at Dudley's actually getting my hair done.
Mm-hmm.
Black has always been demonized as a color.
Wow.
We've allowed people outside of ourselves to demonize blackness, brownness, anything outside of the lighter pigmentation, I want to say. The really light, our lighter brothers and sisters, white people.
She can talk about it.
That group has demonized
She already knows.
blackness. Everything that's black. We started with the black cat thing. Black cats.
Yes,
bad.
everything black
All
is bad.
cats are bad. Come on now.
Black is bad.
Come on, stop.
My oldest daughter's lighter than her.
Come on, y'all. With this black
What's
demonized
with the
stuff.
color?
You look at the black men, you pulling your purse. Come on now.
Everything black
Everything
is bad.
black ain't bad. Love on your people.
We gotta get that.
But we
That's
came up
important.
with a new definition. If you go in your if our producer want to pull up black real quick on her phone, and the Webster's definition of black is not the psychological definition of black. So we sat there, we went through Webster's definition, and we discussed other definitions of black. And I've talked to a lot of people who are philosophers, spiritual people, scholars, and we've also had this discussion.
Biblical scholars?
Biblical and educational scholars I've talked to, both. And we came up with a new definition for black.
Oh, really?
Shout out, Black History Month is coming up.
Yep.
So I want y'all to rock with this new definition we came up.
I'm anxious to hear
But first we gonna go to the traditional
definition. The old fashioned. So the old fashioned says thoroughly sinister or evil, wicked.
Thoroughly sinister
Yes.
or evil.
Old fashioned.
Actually, I got on
and
black
literary.
now. I must be utterly evil.
Mm-hmm. Indicative of condemnation or discredit. Connected with or invoking the supernatural and especially the devil.
Especially the devil.
Especially.
Especially.
I thought he said the devil's gonna come as light.
Yeah, well, he's going to deceive the children of light.
He said the devil gonna be black now. Keep going. What
very sad, gloomy, marked by the occurrence of disaster.
Very sad and gloomy.
Characterized by hostility or angry,
Disaster,
discontent,
hostility, anger.
sullen.
Who made the
Sullen.
definition?
The word sullen.
Distorted or
S-U-L-L-E-N.
darkened by anger.
Distorted, darkened
Yes.
by anger.
So that's what it said as the old.
Such a dark
Does that sound
description.
true?
Yeah.
Also, it does say like dirty soil, characterized by the absence of light, reflecting
The
or
absence of
transmitting
light.
little or no light, served with milk or cream. Served without milk or cream. That's for coffee, obviously.
Okay, let's stop there. Let's go to the psychological definition of black.
The psychological. This is what I like about us. This conversation that we have is not only religious. I'm into metaphysics now. I mean, religious people, that's like taboo. It's like
Demonizing
we don't talk
everything,
about
like they
metaphysics,
demonize black.
universalism. When we talk about universal laws, That's taboo to the
So
church.
if our producer can't get that, we're waiting on her. I just want to add a point. First of all, greatness is made in the dark.
What do you mean?
A mother carries a baby in darkness.
Mm.
The psychological definition of black means absorbs all color. If you mix black with any color, it makes a color.
Dang!
God created the world in darkness, and He said, "Let there be light."
Let there be light. Wow.
Everything comes from black.
I like that.
You have your food comes from dark soil.
Yes. Yes.
Certain plants are only able to grow in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
So
That's
our
good.
new definition of black is creation.
Creativity.
Creativity.
Yeah. There's different stuff that I'm finding. But like I see positive keywords include protection, comfort, strong, contained, formal, sophisticated, seductive, mysterious, endings and beginnings.
Endings and what?
Beginnings.
Endings and beginnings.
Mhm.
Strong.
Formal. Don't you wear black
Productive.
attire?
Mm.
Man, I love black.
I love black.
And it ain't
Because
cause
it's
I'm
like
black.
sexy. It's sexy.
It's
Yeah.
sexy. Ooh,
And it absorbs
Hey.
all colors.
sexy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Blackness absorbs all colors. Jesus didn't come from Europe. Came from Ethiopia.
Speak it.
And so he had feet of bronze and brass. I mean, so we don't want to get into the biblical context of, antiquity, but we know some things been kind of missing.
the original
I like this
person was black.
Black is linked to power. It's,
Yeah.
it's an intimidating color that shows that the person wearing the setting themselves. The person wearing it is setting themselves apart from others.
Ooh.
It's a color that indicates strength and discipline.
Hello, you.
So we came to debunk
Oh my goodness.
your formal European knowledge of what black is. Black
It's all a lie.
is not
It's all a lie.
taboo. Your sister
We've been
and
misinformed.
brother is not
We've been
taboo.
misinformed.
Black people, we accept all people.
Kings and queens.
Do you go in our neighborhood? We got all kind of people coming to our houses and things. Okay, we have had to accept everybody. We were the first people on the planet. People of African descent.
We thank God.
Okay, so stop hating
Let the
yourself
truth be known.
and stop hating your own.
Black love.
Light, dark,
Say
it's
it
all black.
I'm black and I'm proud. James Brown started that back in the 60s.
We-
Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud.
We come in all shades and colors. No one is better than the next.
That's good.
And we have to learn to support ourselves,
Hello.
our
In
businesses,
our communities.
our community,
We
our
want-
seed.
We want to come up because all of this division and separatism between us and our communities, hating on one another. Let's learn how to love. The Lord said, by this men will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. This is what you see on display right now, the love between us, the vibe, the energy, the spirit of love. Genuine agape love, unconditional love. Unconditional. There's no romantic interest between us. This is agape love. She's like a daughter to me. Her mother is like a daughter to me. And I just thank God that I love her mother. She's an amazing woman. And I remember when she was in diapers. And God has allowed me to live long enough to do this. What a blessing. Wow. So talk about a little bit about agape.
Agape love is the universal love of God. So God allows us to love everything in His creation, everything in His universe.
I like that, Joy.
It doesn't. So
That's
once
right.
we begin to love ourselves and love our own people, we can love the world. We can love others
You understand?
from that space. It's levels to this. It's levels. And it's nothing wrong with other races, other people. God said he formed man in his likeness and image. Just certain groups came into play at different times. But we are all one race.
The
and
human,
that's human
race.
race.
Woo!
But one person shouldn't be demonized of all.
We gotta love one another, man. When we get back to love, it'll change everything about what we do, who we are, what we experience. All this hatred, man, it's deception. It's a distraction. It's a distortion. Learn how to love one another, build one another, encourage one another, empower one another, edify one another, help one another, support one another. That's what we're doing. We're about to build an empire. We're on the verge of building an empire.
Yes.
Through group homes.
Period.
Yes.
Men and women who are coming out of prison. Mass incarceration is $1 billion industry in America. It's all by design. The design is for us first to take all of the financial resources and the resources that we need to build wealth and to support our families out of the community. The steel mills, all of the jobs that men didn't need an education to have could still support their families back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. They took wood shopping, home economics, and all of the skills out of school so that men could no longer provide for their family without a degree. And so now that places the man in an inferior position in the home because he could no longer provide for his home. So now the woman fulfills the role of the man. And so the man is put in a position where he's inferior. And if a man is not able to fulfill his calling by being a leader, provider, protector of the family, he moves on into another dimension and start using drugs and alcohol, and his resources become crime.
Warmongering.
And all of those ungodly and unsavory things that we see going on in the community. So when they take the finances and the resources out of community, we have no access to anything for a meaningful lifestyle. Then the woman takes the place of the man. The devil's job is the God, man, woman, family. He removes the man and put the woman in place of man because man no longer has the ability to provide. So now the woman sees him as inferior. She began to talk down to him, not even recognizing what's at play. It's all by design.
Wow.
And so mass incarceration is by design. It's $1 billion industry that our men of color are in prison.
And then people bully us and say, what's wrong with your neighborhood? What's wrong with your community? After by design, they've taken the essentials that even when they put rats in a lab and studied this behavior, they knew that we would go back to our instinct to survive. Once those environments were created like that, once you took the job, once you created the schools to teach our children nothing. You don't teach our children this world that we live in, this state, this country. You don't teach our children anything that they can use to provide for themselves. Right here in the ghettos of Chicago, I've sat in those classrooms. I've been on the parent board. They're not teaching them anything that they can use outside of the classroom. Hello. Okay? So now you have a direct school to prison pipeline. Okay, you set up the lunchrooms to look like prisons, the food platters, all of that. You're programming their minds for prison. Okay?
Wow.
And you're not teaching our children anything. So now we got to click in some black love and we got to teach our own children. Because ain't nobody going to love us right. You've shown us that you can't love us right. When we turn our back on our own brothers and sisters of other races, they don't help. They don't stand in for us all the time.
Right.
Is that true?
Right. I agree.
They get together
Actually,
and
the
actually
Hispanic
make.
community looks down on us. They think they're better than us. And they come over into our country and they have access to things that we don't have access to.
That we died
and things
for.
like that. Financial resources.
That we died for.
And we the one that built this country. Free slave.
That we died for.
Free labor.
That we got raped,
labor.
beat, brutalized,
$1 trillion.
ostracized.
Trillions.
And the Bible
Trillions.
says when a foreigner comes into your land, this is a universal biblical law. Wherever nation you're in,
Mm-hmm.
the Bible says you treat foreigners good.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it that foreigners are treating us like foreigners in our own countries and treating us bad?
Because we don't belong nowhere. Everybody else has a home that they can go back to. We don't belong nowhere.
We belong here. We belong here.
That's right.
We have
That's
a
where I
lineage
was
to
born.
Africa, though. We are of African descent.
But they look down on us too in Africa.
Well,
now, I heard Steve Harvey say when he went to Africa, when he woke up in the morning, he felt free because he didn't have to worry about being pulled over by the police. Everybody around him looked like him. He felt a sense of freedom and liberty that he didn't experience in America because everybody looked like him. And he didn't feel the threat of racism and separatism. That was an amazing. When I heard that, I said, I gotta go to Africa one day.
Because the black man is
just
always...
to feel that experience of everybody that you run into look like you. And then the white people over there are looked at as inferior because they're not the majority. We're the minority here. We're the majority there. We're actually the majority here because we, as far as consumers, we spend more money than they do.
And I just wish that our brothers, starting with our white brothers, that they would first repent for what they did to us and continue to do to us. And that they would understand that they live on the backbones of our people and have always.
My goodness.
If we were to lead this country, it would never be the same. And I just wish that we could love each other and that our white brothers and sisters could just look in the mirror and just be truthful with what it is that we go through and have some compassion and not give half of justice, give real justice.
I think some of them have, and I think more and more are recognizing now of what has really happened. But I think we ought to take on the onus and responsibility for ourselves and not keep blaming the white man for what's going on with us. We have the ability now to empower ourselves.
Absolutely.
Economic development. We can gain the resources. We have over 1,000 billionaires in the black community now. And that money is sitting in the bank instead of being used in our communities. Why can't we come together and build resources? I got a friend of mine, him and his brother is buying up the whole block in Gary, Indiana. They bought a whole block in Gary, Indiana. These are the kind of things that we need to start thinking about. Gaining the resources to empower ourselves and stop waiting for the government to come and rescue us.
And so I want to shout. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say they was never on our side. So the way it's built, it's always going to be against us.
Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about, the part and looking at the man in the mirror and just and having some kinship that you need us just as well as we need you in some sort of way. Yeah. We need one another. It's not, you don't exist apart from black people. We don't exist. We came in this together. It was evil, it was devilish. It was bloodshed. But can we turn a new leaf?
Yes.
And that leaf has not been turned all the way.
Even the pandemic is a gimmick. We don't want to start talking about that.
Ooh, let's leave that alone. However, I want to shout out a few black businesses here on the south side of Chicago that you can support on your Saturday.
Go ahead.
Shout out to my black business guy that will be coming to you soon. Because that brain get rusty when that money get in that hand. You want to go to Walmart, you want to go to Subway, you want to go to the major pieces. But I got some good places. Retro Grill right on 81st and Stony Island.
Mickey's.
Oh,
No, it's called Retro
Retro
Grill.
Grill?
Retro's
Okay.
Grill.
81st
And the
Stone.
owner's name
Listen,
is
that's-
Clint. Ask for Clint. They have shakes. They have homemade fries, salmon Phillies, steak Phillies. Everything's gourmet. It's fast. It's ready. And when you go in there, give them a Google review. You got Lux Nails right on 82nd and Stony with the beauty supply.
Okay.
You have Comfort Care right there on Stony. That's a black agency, nursing
Go
agency.
ahead, Joy. You understand what you understand.
We got
I feel you.
we shout out to the Rap Bar on 82nd and Cottage Grove
She
here in the
move around,
Chicago
don't she?
area.
I'm
and
learning
two
some stuff.
doors down, you got a black beauty supply right there on the corner. So don't
All
go.
up and down 87.
So don't go to
Stone.
87 and the Dan Ryan. So that beauty supply go to
East of
82nd.
Stony.
Go to 82nd and Cottage.
Check
to
that
the beauty
out.
Supply.
That's where you got your nails done.
That was 82nd and Stony.
Yes.
So it's two of them, 82nd and Cottage and 82nd and
Stony.
Stony.
Yep.
Okay, so if you want a bite to eat, we got Retro Grill.
Go ahead.
Check them out.
Mickey's is pretty good
And
too.
where's Mickey? That
It's
was
right
the
there.
old name.
Right there where you.
Oh,
They
so
changed their name
changed
from
it.
Mickey's to Retro Grill.
So now we know.
Got you.
Now we know. Okay.
So go in there on your lunch break, all my black professionals, and then you also have Nita's Gumbo right there on 81st.
Oh yeah, that's been there a minute too.
And Stony.
Yes.
So
We know where she been.
we gotta make
Where she been hanging out.
we gotta make the effort
Where
to
she been
drive.
doing. She been on, boy.
We gotta
I'm
make the
learning something
effort
here. I'm finna start moving like that.
to drive a few more blocks to support
That's
each
what's
other.
up.
Get
That's
in
what's
line
You
to
wanna be
support each
supported.
other.
You want to be supported.
Some of the
Yes.
stores up on 79.
Mob shop. Let's start mob shopping. You know what mob shopping is?
shopping.
We just bum rush that business that week and pour our dollars into that
And
business.
that revenue.
Let's create a
Let's
trend.
do that.
Mob shop.
I want to holler out to, I love these people. They're in Houston right now, the Turkey Leg Hut. This is
Absolutely.
family. They off the chain, off the children.
Yes.
Please visit them when you go to Houston. You can't miss it. You will love it. I promise you. That's what I gotta say.
All right.
The Turkey
all
Leg
right.
Hut. that's
Turkey
what's up.
leg.
Oh! Wild Daddy's Barbecue in
Ooh.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Wild Daddy.
Wild Daddy's. That's Carlos and Buska. Both of them got barbecue restaurants now.
Y'all
so,
making
yeah,
me hungry.
That's what's up.
Then you
She
got,
said she
you want
getting
another black nail shop, Sisters Nails, right there on Stony Island, 69th in Stony Island. It's called Sisters Nails. Okay, if you want to get your nails done.
Okay.
All right.
Is
The
the
y'all
animal
girls got to
hospital
keep y'all
that cater
nails
work at
done.
Black
I
owned?
think they are now.
The animal hospital on 68th and Stony. That's where my daughter worked. I think that's black owned.
What's the name of
Come
it?
out. Hyde Park Animal
Hospital.
Hospital. They got a location on 53rd and Hyde Park. Not Hyde Park. I don't know the street.
Kenwood
actually.
or something
Is
like
it
that.
Kenwood?
Shout out to Sean Michelle's on 47th Street, hooking up the homemade ice cream.
Check that out.
I want some ice cream.
Check that out.
You got No Cobs in Harvey, Illinois.
No carbs. That's old school. No carbs.
No
That mean you
Cobs
can't
in
handle it,
Calumet
man.
City. They got two
Snatches for
locations.
snatches. When they snatch yours, did you just say no carbs?
Also, S2 Grill. If you want to
Yes,
sit down,
That's two grills.
Right there on
That's what's
Stony.
up. Right there, yep.
we're not going to Oak
80,
Brook.
89th.
We ain't going
88.
downtown to Maestro's. We're going to S2 Grill.
Hello.
We're going to get a lobster and a
Yoo-hoo.
steak.
Go ahead.
We getting in line to be
Holla.
in line with our own.
Holla.
I love
Get
it.
in line.
We really appreciate this opportunity just to share some of our experiences, and we thank you so much for taking the time to listen and to engage with us. We're praying that God will lead you to us and that will lead us to you and to give us what you need to inform, empower, encourage, inspire, information that leads to inspiration that results in transformation. We want the transformation to result in a changed life, change the way you think. If I change the way you think, I change what you do. If I change what you do, I change your destiny. So God has given us this platform, and we're so grateful for this opportunity. We thank our producer, executor, Simone Sidney Sanford.
Whole government.
Beast and a
Whole
baller,
government
shot
name.
caller. What you say, Simone?
You just put my whole government name.
Everything. Simone Sidney, and that's C-Y-D.
Yes.
You're not S-I-D.
Oh my God.
So anyway, you're on the verge to greatness. You're on the verge to
And it's hump
transformation.
day. It's hump
This
Yes,
Wednesday.
it is. Wednesday.
Get your money on. Get that money. Let's come
2
together.
days before
Let's unify.
Friday.
We're praying that God will unify us and give us a collective mindset and a collective heart set so that we all can be on the same accord, on one accord, globally for change. God bless you. Tune in again. Like us, share us, do your thing, and get back with us. Talk to you later. See you, Joy.
See ya.